Hey there! I wanted to discuss some misconceptions about veganism. By misconceptions, I'm referring to specifically the types of things that people generally tend to think about vegans, and some of the statements that I'm going to go over are actually some things that I've actually heard on my Tumblr. Anyway, I always hear this all the time. People kind of approach me with that type of attitude if they already know I'm a vegan and they don't really know me very well. As with any minority group in general, I think there's always that super small percentage of the badly behaved ones that tend to reflect poorly on the entire community. So I mean, I've met some vegans who act sanctimonious. You know, there's always people like that in any type of group. I don't think people realize how often the topic of food comes up in conversation, especially if you're with non-vegan friends, like at a barbecue or a potluck or something like that. It gets a little bit awkward because you can't partake in a lot of the stuff that's available. Like really, if you're in a situation like that, you can't not tell people like, hey, why aren't you eating? Well, you have to say something. I do understand like where the source of this type of comment comes from, because I have met vegans who like every 2 seconds, I'm a vegan. Did you know that blah blah blah, rattling off some type of like animal fact or something. Not that it's a bad thing, but it can get a little irritating, I suppose. I find it quite tasty, actually. I've actually only met one vegan athlete who competed in triathlons and does marathons and everything like that. From what he told me, as long as you're eating healthy and getting the vitamins and nutrients that you need, it doesn't really make a difference whether you're eating meat or not. Can we not? This actually depends. If you're not getting enough B12 or iron, which are usually pretty easily found in meat. They're also anemia preventing and energy sustaining nutrient. Obviously, if you're not eating meat, there's a lot of other ways to get it as well. You could be eating a lot of spinach, nuts, beans, other types of green leafy vegetables. So yeah, just make sure you're nourishing yourself. This is literally the most asked question I've ever received in my life. Why are you so concerned with my protein intake? I don't understand. Protein is in brown rice, peas, soy products, nuts, garlic, spinach, oranges, okra, kale. Protein is the least of our worries, really. Please stop asking. Please. It actually might be a good idea for anyone to take supplements, but personally, I haven't had to in my almost 5 years of being a vegan. I was actually vitamin deficient before I was a vegan, so I'm fine now. Being a vegan is expensive if you're lazy. If you're lazy, you'll buy tons of frozen products, tons of pre-made food, all of which are extremely overpriced if it has the vegan label on it. I've come across a lot of really awesome vegan blogs with a lot of recipes and stuff that I've been trying, and if you want, I'll post some of them. I think it's good at this point to mention that people are vegans for different reasons. For a few of the more hostile vegan blogs that I've come across, I think it's safe to assume that they chose to transition to veganism mainly because of their concern for animal rights. Especially the ones that are incredibly rude to people just because they're not vegans. That's just not the type of person I am. But in my experience, the hostility usually comes from the other party. I've actually had people get like really mad at me just because I told them I was a vegan after they asked me. And I think they get sort of upset because they assume that I'm going to be very aggressive. The purpose of veganism is not to put a global end to all meat consumption through our own abilities or through our ability to persuade others. It's about doing what's most considerate of other living creatures, the environment, and just your own personal health in the long run, despite what's easy and despite what is convenient. I really don't feel like I have the right to tell people what they should eat or how they should live their lives. Different things work for different people. I don't really have a choice but to respect their decisions, even if they might be different from mine. But I think respect is the main ingredient here. In other news, I made my dog a sweater. I think that's all. Bye.